Hi, my name is Francine and I have ovarian cancer. We don't know how long I have, so my job right now is to make every day count.
Hi, everybody. I always hope you're having a good day. I wanted to talk to you about something that I found on the internet. But first, I want to let you know it's really cold. It started snowing, and I got a request in Brisbane to show snow when we got it, and today was worthy. So here's a quick view. You stay right there. No cats allowed. Okay. Won't be sitting here today. Anyway, I got requests for a snowy video. All right, my little gimbal is sort of acting up, but this happens to be my backyard, but it's actually a park. It's a town park, so very lucky to call it my backyard and not have to take care of it. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about is something, as I said, I found on the internet, and I'm very big about leaving legacies and probably more videos to come on that. But someone had posted her friend's words. Those words belong to Carrie, and she passed away. So I would like to read these words to you. If you're reading this fucking brain cancer probably got me. But let me be crystal clear while I'm able. I did not lose a battle against cancer. This is a ridiculous, steamy pile of horseshit that society has dumped on cancer patients. Western medicine and Western culture especially is so uncomfortable talking about death that instead it created this battle analogy to basically shame people who die from cancer. Newsflash, none of us get out of here alive from this rodeo called life. There is no shame in dying of cancer or any serious illness. And it doesn't need to be a battle. It's a transition that each of us will go through. I was asked by a shaman whom I spoke to after my second brain surgery. Are you running towards life or running away from death? Whoa, that got my attention. There is a big difference. I got it wrong more often than not. Don't let fear fuel your choices. Live fearlessly. Run towards life. Don't worry about what people will think. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Focus on you. Be true to yourself. Be your own best friend. People who tell you that you're selfish are not your people. If the voice in your head says these unkind things, get a new voice. Honor your mental health and seek out a good therapist with the same vigor you'd search for in a romantic partner. Speaking of, be intentional about cultivating friendships that lift you up. As those friendships grow and change, don't overlook them while you search for the greatest love of your life. No, I'm not suggesting that you sleep with your bestie, but you do you. Another unhelpful message that we get from society is that we need a love of our life as a romantic partner. Single and childless, when I was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, I looked around my life and came up sputtering and sobbing from the wave of grief washed over me. I thought I'd be in this alone. no husband, no kids, no great love. How wrong was I? At the first appointment with my neuro-oncologist, one of the nurses diligently hauled in a chair after chair, for the great loves of my life who came with me that horrible day and many days after that. I sat and listened while the doctor explained the 12-month treatment plan, focusing on my breath and then looking around the room, filled with many great loves of my life. Incredible women, friends whom I had met at various stages of my life. Surround yourself with people who contradict that unkind voice, people who see your light, and remind yourself who you are, an amazing soul. Learn how to receive these reflections from your people because they are speaking the truth. Love yourself, no matter how weird and silly it might feel. Every morning, give yourself a hug before your feet hit the floor. Look deeply into your eyes in a mirror. Say to yourself out loud, I trust you. The voice in your head may say you're a dork. Just ignore it. As I prepare to leave this body and embark on this mysterious journey of my soul, I hope these observations from my deathbed are somehow useful. What I know deep in my bones is that learning to love myself has led me to be able to say this: I am so proud of how I lived. May you, dear reader, feel the same when you head out on your soul journey. Until then, enjoy the ride and always eat dessert first, especially if it's pie. Rest in peace, Carrie. Thank you so much for those words. I know they're comforting to me, and I felt like I could have written a lot of those. So I have a feeling I really would have liked Carrie if I had known her in this life. Well, that was pretty powerful. I wanted to read through it and think about it first before actually reacting, because I think it's much more powerful on its own than to piecemeal it. So the things that stood out for me was, one of them was, I did not lose a battle against cancer. This is a ridiculous, steamy pile of horseshit. Okay, I might have phrased it differently, but I got to tell you something. A lot of the words that she used, though, and her sentiment and things that she said, I could see myself writing, and you never know. I may still do that. This was powerful because she goes on to say there is no shame in dying from cancer or any serious illness. And it doesn't have to be a battle. I really do feel like in some ways that she does feel, or did feel, that in some ways that she felt the medical community has set the stage for, if you have a cancer diagnosis, you don't really have a choice. You have to fight. This is a battle that, we're not gladiators. It's okay. And I think it's okay to get treatments. I think it's okay to fight like hell. And I think it's okay to say, it's okay. Another thing she says, don't let fear fuel your choices. And for me, my choice is not to get any more treatments. So I think that if you choose to, I can see that is a little bit, I'm all lit up. I can see that being an issue for people who are afraid to say no thank you to choices. I always believe frontline choice should be treatment, unless it's just so far gone that they tell you there's nothing that they could do from the beginning. And I did that. I went through treatments. I don't know Kerrie's actual story. I don't know her whole journey. This is all I know of Kerrie. What she wrote was very thoughtful. I imagine she did go through treatments. And at some point, she said she was diagnosed as terminal. When you're diagnosed as terminal, doesn't make you a loser. You choose whether to fight or not. I've said this before. If I was younger, if I had children to fight for, yeah, I would fight like hell. But I'm not in that kind of position. I can actually just enjoy life and maybe prolong the life by not putting more toxins in my body. But if I had a lot to leave behind, that would be a different story. So she goes on to say, live fearlessly. Don't worry about what people think. Trust me, it doesn't matter. She was right about that. Be intentional about cultivating friendships that lift you up. I cannot tell you how true that is. I have learned how to set some boundaries, and on my good days, I have to be more particular about how I spend them and who I spend them with. So those who just don't serve my life in a way that is a positive reinforcement, and I'm not Xing them out. I'm just not welcoming them in. I'm just being particular with my time. And I've been very lucky that people are understanding generally about that. Like I have a certain circle, and outside of that circle, there could be acquaintances, but I don't really want to start anything new as far as friendships. But anything that is not going to be positive and lifting me up, that's just not for me at this point in my life. So I don't put up with, I guess, the things that I did before. I was always a yes person, even if it was a sacrifice for me. And now I just choose to say yes to myself. And that is not selfish. That is part of your self-care. Surround yourself with people who contradict that unkind voice in your head. People who see your light and remind you who you are, an amazing soul. Well, my therapists out there, you do that for me. You really do. And I've always appreciated that. And I have very kind people in my life who I'm very blessed that they do lift me up. Not everybody can be successful at it, though. I mean, there are still bad days, right? Then she wrote, then I looked around the room, filled with great loves of my life, incredible women friends whom I had met at various stages of my life. And this is the part where she said the nurse just kept bringing chairs in for all of the great loves in her life. And she passed without a relationship as far as romantic relationship, and she passed not having children. I don't even know how old Kerrie was, but I imagine she was young. In the end, she realized it wasn't the most important thing, that she was surrounded by love and people who wanted to be there for her. All of those people in the room were lifting her up. And that's more than a lot of people have. Even those who have children and a spouse or significant other, and some people take that for granted. No, it's not a substitute, but it's love, and love is love, and people who care about you. And if you have nobody in your life, then go find some people. because there are always going to be people that care about you. But I do find that some people like to isolate themselves, or they have too much anxiety and they have to isolate themselves. But there's always online support. It's hard to do those things alone. Not everyone finds that difficult. Some people have that preference. I'm not one of those people. I want to be surrounded by love. Relationships in general just seem to make life worthwhile. Sorry, I'm stuttering today. I think I'm just tired. So you know how that works. Anyway, it was just important that I share my thoughts with this, and I'm glad I was able to share Kerrie's words, because we do a lot of thinking toward the end. I would not be surprised if a letter is going to be coming, out of these sausage fingers toward the end. I'm not ready to write that letter. I just want to enjoy life and make every day count. Thanks for being there. And I will see you in the next video. Be blessed because you're blessed. Love you all. Bye.